we're all about disruption here. You know, we're gonna be at South by
Nirav,
Southwest.
If you could just shut up for a second, I actually have something to say. No.
That actually would probably be helpful on this one. Wait, everyone's too afraid to talk because I'm so good at talking. They don't want to interrupt me, and so.
You're very good at talking,
Thank
but
you.
that to me is like comforting because I hate silence. You know.
Right.
So I love when people are just able to fill in the gaps.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I've been on, I don't remember how many other podcasts, but several.
Yeah, I had to get some kind of caffeine in my system before I started talking with people.
I've actually run out. I've sadly run out of Coke Zero this morning. Which, if anyone knows me, then you know that's sort of my blood is like mostly Coke Zero at this point. And it's I have to like also stop collecting the boxes because there are literally like, let me count them. Yeah, there's 8 boxes of empty Coke Zero boxes on top of my refrigerator.
The boxes?
No, just because I keep telling myself I'll recycle them, but there's no recycling here.
I thought you were like
on some level I know that they're not going to go anywhere. I think, but
You're gonna turn them into a giant robot cosplay pretty quick.
I'm actually think that's actually not a horrible idea. Maybe I'll keep collecting.
You can't do
So
any
that's
worse.
recycling.
Yeah. But you can't do any worse than the year that I went the most deliberately terrible costume and made Ghetto Robo.
Oh my God.
Ghetto Robo?
Instead of Getter Robo, it was Ghetto Robo, and it was just a bunch of terrible boxes and, the 12-pack can boxes. And whenever you did Get or Break, you just flung your arms out and let the boxes fly anywhere.
Wow, I did Ghetto Ash Ketchum my freshman year of college, and I had a Pokeball that was literally like a crumpled bunch of paper that I put tape around to hold together and then colored with a marker.
Nice.
Okay, everybody, if everyone could just kind of close their eyes and reach out, you feel that in the bowl in front of you? You feel that? That's like, it's eyeballs, but it's not. It's peeled grapes. That's right.
I came here expecting eyeballs.
That's right. We're in the podcast already. Welcome, everybody.
Oh, great.
Nice.
Yeah, we've been in here the whole time.
Submitted for your consideration.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Podcast Zone, which is the new name of this project, I guess. Anyway, yes, this is GameBusters. This is a podcast from GameLuster.com. I'm Nirav, and I'm going to be your host this morning or evening. I don't know what's going on over in your place. I am joined today by my lovely co-hosts.
Oh, I thank you.
And now you say your names.
I'm Tim. I'm creatively disruptive.
I even put the order on the outline of what you Okay.
Oh, I need to.
Hold up.
That.
I'll get the outline.
Did anyone do the reading?
I did the reading. I just didn't bring the reading with me.
Yeah, I just don't have it. Desmond ate it.
Oh.
My dog, my son.
It's her poof. So please.
Yeah, my son. He's very very fluffy. His name is Desmond. He is literally my world. But I'm Katie.
Okay, that's 2. We got one more.
Oh, that's probably me then. Okay. I'm Ree, editor of GameLuster and very organized, as you can tell, as usual.
We've had some disorganized intros, but this one really is pushing it. We're sort of pushing over the border of endearing into like unlistenable.
Oh no.
All right, let's just jump into our first segment real quickly. We're gonna do Parks or Rec, and everyone can either talk about a nice park you visited or just recommend anything.
I'm gonna recommend the 2015 BBC version of And Then There Were None. It is amazingly produced. Everybody in it is a rat bastard. And Charles Dance is excellent.
Oh, I do love me some Charles Dance.
Oh, he's excellent in and you should have just opened on that.
Oh, well, you have to save the cherry on top.
Yeah.
That is true.
Okay. Very cool.
I'm going to go ahead and recommend this early access title I've been playing. I recently did a preview of it, Monster Crown. It's this I suppose Game Boy Color era Pokemon inspired RPG. As I said, it's in early access right now, so it's not all of it, but it's insanely addictive. I feel like a kid again. It's really fun. It's really hard as well. That's the nice thing. It's like so if you're into Pokemon but found the recent games too easy, really recommend checking Monster Crown out on Steam.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
I think I will also do a recommendation. I'm recommending a show. It's pretty popular, but I guess some people are unaware of it. But it's also a BBC show actually. That's called Killing Eve. It's with Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer. Sandra Oh was on Grey's Anatomy back in the day. She's amazing. But essentially the plot is that there is this super badass female assassin who has been essentially under the radar for a really long time.
Sorry, it sounds sorry. I think somebody's drilling into the side of my house.
Oh, I personally can't hear it.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, there's no feedback or anything. But anyway, so she's this assassin, and Sandra Oh's character who is Eve, works for MI6 in London and is tasked with tracking her down basically. And the kind of cat and mouse chase between them is super interesting, and just a really amazing acting job on the part of Jodie Comer. She's British, and she plays this Russian assassin. She speaks with a Russian accent, but also speaks Russian, French, Italian, everything. It's won a bunch of awards, but yeah, it's super awesome.
Okay, awesome. Since everyone else did a rec, I'll do a park. I want to give a shout out to Centennial Park in Nashville, which is the coolest place because it has a fake Parthenon there. If anyone's like been to Nashville, you probably know about the Parthenon there. They've recreated the actual Parthenon like full scale with the full sized Athena statue inside. It's just awesome. In the middle of Nashville. It's just the coolest fucking place. Just go there. It's cool. It's like stepping into. You're like 1 minute you're hanging out with Taylor Swift, and then the next you're hanging out with Athena. It's insane.
And which
great
one
diversity
which?
In that city.
It's hard to tell.
It's like a Hillary or a Hannah Montana situation.
Yeah, I've never seen Taylor Swift and Athena in the same room at the same time.
She puts on her stone wig and she's Athena.
See, this is where there's a bit of a culture clash between the US and the UK, because any of my fellow Brits listening will know that pretty much all our parks are just some areas with grass which we're occasionally allowed to walk on. So to hear all this, I'm proper jealous. So I was looking at this Parks and Rec bit, and I was thinking, I cannot recommend a single park that I've been to in this country. So I'm glad to hear that they are good somewhere else.
I will qualify. No matter what else happens to us, the one thing that the United States does better than any other country in the world is preserving parks and creating like outdoor recreation areas. With like
because
actual
Teddy
wilderness.
Roosevelt beat the shit into us to do it, and we have not forgotten.
He killed 7 lions and then said, "Now time for parks."
Yeah.
That's probably very on the low end of how many lions he killed.
Actually, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. He wasn't much for hunting lions.
Was he? Yeah,
I just shit.
Yeah, I know he went to Africa and like this crazy bender of hunting and killed just hundreds of animals, and then came back and was like, "I'm the bull moose party now."
Actually, funnily enough, my grandfather gave my dad a book recently on Thomas Akeley, who was like this taxidermist who like did the Roosevelt like Hall of African History at the Field Museum or whatever in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reading the book right now, and he gives this account of like Teddy Roosevelt and his sons just like slaughtering all these animals in Africa, like elephants, lions, monkeys, all that kind of stuff. So apparently he was about it.
Yeah, he did like the killing.
Yeah.
He liked the hunting, and he wanted there to be stuff around to hunt. So he realized, wait a shit, we need to protect this.
In a way, he was the most forward-thinking conservationist of all time.
Yeah, I was about to say, there was definitely a naturalist side, but...
I mean, he's playing some 5D chess there, you know. Not many people are about preserving the environment so they can keep killing it, you know. I commend him for that.
He liked to hunt, and he liked to eat the meat, and he's like, but if there's none of this around, what will we do? And they need the environment. We need the environment too, come to think of it. Protect the environment. breakfast.
For breakfast. Let's continue on. Everybody, please step with me into the Hall of Fameluster. I'm just gonna undo the velvet rope here. Please come on in.
Avoid the pit trap.
The pit trap
saw
is
blades.
okay. The pit trap is the saw blades. The pit trap. That's all here because we're still under construction. We don't want anyone sort of interfering. We've sort of come to a halt. We're waiting on City Hall to give us the permit, but they are not resuming City Council meetings yet. So we're just sort of in a stuck place. Like, we've got the saw blade and the pit trap, but it's really just sort of an empty field outside of that. But anyway, let's pretend we're there. So today we're gonna pick the coolest cutscene in a video game, and the keyword here is coolest, not like best rendered or like whatever. You know, it's just the coolest. So I'll kick us off. I wanna throw in my induction is the ending scene of Little Nightmares. If anyone has not played Little Nightmares, first of all, it's fantastic. It is the best horror game I've ever played by far. What I would say, so I don't want to spoil too much about it, but basically at the end, your character becomes like the monsters that you've been hiding from the entire time, and in this like dramatic, intense scene with it is very, very heavily influenced by Spirited Away, and you'll see a lot of that in there. But imagine if in Spirited Away, like, Chihiro became like a monster and began eating the pigs that were like eating the food and everything and like tearing them apart, and then like suddenly at the end like all the creatures that like you've been rescuing, the gnomes that you've been rescuing, like become terrified of you because like it's the story Little Nightmares is about like the cyclical nature of gluttony and about consumption. And it's such a fucking amazing ending, and oh man, the music's so good. Anyway, all right, Ree, what have you brought with you?
Okay, I'm very confident about mine this week. So I'm going for the intro to Super Smash Bros. Melee. Oh my god. I cannot even put into words how it felt to be 6 years old, boot that GameCube up, and have that opening. I thought, like, this video games have peaked, you know? I'm 6 years old and I've already experienced the peak of video games. All these characters.
Mario's wearing clothes that I can see, like he's not just a blue thing. Like, it's so cool. I can remember, like, the Zelda bit being my favorite because I was massively into Zelda at the time. I can hear the fucking music in my head for that, like, one exact segment. Like,
I was thinking about it at work today, thinking about my pick, and ever since then, Melee music's been in my head. Melee's just a fucking cool game, full stop, really.
It really
intro.
is.
I mean, it's no Kirby's Air Ride, but no. Kirby's Air Ride, I'm pretty sure was used as a platform for Melee. Because there's so much in Air Ride that also made it into Melee. It's amazing.
Nice. Okay, that's a very good pick. Tim, what do you have?
I could go with basically any of the FMVs from Final Fantasy VIII, but I'm specifically gonna go with the Assault on Garden FMV as my cutscene, because the cutscene, specifically one, it seamlessly starts, and then you're in it, and you're able to run around in it, and still progress the plot and have an actual interactive part, while the cutscene is still happening throughout that entire sequence of the game, and it is just extremely well executed, an epic moment. It still looks really good today, and you can't say that about a lot of 90s graphics, including a lot of the rest of FF8 before the remaster. But yeah, no, it is super cool that it just starts in the middle of everything and keeps going through the entire frickin' sequence. There's always some FMV in the background, and it doesn't slow things down, and it always is cool.
Okay.
Especially the part when you are hanging and from the flying armor frame and fighting the guy, and the entire rest of the battle is happening in the background in FMV.
On top of that, on what system did that come out on? Was that PS2 or 1?
No, that was PSX. That was the original.
Okay, yeah, so that's pretty impressive on there, running all that stuff at once. Okay, cool. Katie, what have you got?
So mine is actually kind of similar to yours, Nirav. Mine I chose. Unfortunately, I'm not like a big gamer, really. I haven't played.
You're not playing a lot of solitaire.
Yeah, seriously. Save for my GameCube that I had when I was a kid. I played a lot of games on that. But one game that I did play with our friend Johnny, actually, Nirav and I's friend, is Until Dawn on the PlayStation 4.
Yes.
Another choose your own adventure game, which is like my favorite genre. So Nirav was talking about his cutscene. I chose the cutscene at the end of Until Dawn when you get like a specific ending. You like your goal is to like save the people that are under attack in this cabin during the whole game. And so if you get the ending where you're able to save everybody, you get kind of a similar thing to what Nira was talking about, where you kind of become the monster that you feared, and that was just really a twist that I was not expecting at the end.
When Katie says that she played Until Dawn, she's very much understating the intensity of her interaction with it.
Yeah, I kind of became a little bit obsessed with it when we started playing it, and Johnny and I did played it the first time and got, we weren't able to save everybody or whatever, and we went through like 2 or 3 more times and literally played it for like the whole day, just trying to collect, like, there are these things in the game called totems that you collect, and they're really hard to find. Like, I honestly don't know how someone could be able to find all of them if you didn't look it up, but which we totally did. We totally cheated. Yeah, and so they kind of help you navigate the game or whatever, but then there were tons of them, but we played through collecting literally every single totem and trying to save everyone. So
I don't know if you remember, I was actually there for one of these runs, and I had to like go home because it was 1:30 in the morning, and I was just like, guys, I'm so tired, I have to go, and you just like didn't even look up.
Oh yeah, we were totally immersed in that game.
I just want to commend Until Dawn, because hearing about it has like reawakened the anxiety I felt playing that game. Oh my god, I mean, I'm a total wimp with horror. So I was there, sat in a dark room because my friend had forced me to play it very cruelly. And it's just the absolute atmosphere of that game, and just feeling so stressed. I've never seen the ending where you save everyone, because I honestly, but I can't remember how many people died, but I was probably on like it was probably about 1 per minute, really. It was going very badly. I don't even think I finished it. I would be impressed if anyone survived.
Yeah, it's really tough. We definitely, like I said, we definitely cheated and had to kind of like Google how to keep this one person alive, because it was almost impossible to keep them from dying.
Okay.
So it was really good though.
Okay, everyone, please pull out your voting cards. Everyone has 2 votes, and please understand the polls are not rigged. Everyone is going to have to come out to them though, and place these votes down. I don't know what's going to happen to them in the mail. There's just no telling.
Unreliable.
It's unreliable, and that's why I'm getting rid of it? Question mark?
But also you can't get your medication on top of it.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Just eat the mail that you're not going to be able to send. Okay. Let's see. Katie, where are your votes going to go? You get 2 votes, and you can vote for your own.
Okay, so voting for 2 of them. Okay. Okay, so I will vote for my own, just because I've only seen one of the other cutscenes that you guys are talking about. And then my second vote is going to go to Smash Brothers, because I loved that game as a kid.
Yeah.
Hey.
Very good. Okay, Tim.
I'm going to go with myself, FF8. Because, it is legitimately freaking cool. But also Melee, because,
Yeah.
Game recognizes game.
Okay. Yeah, Tim, I have often said that you are the Super Smash Brothers Melee of people, so...
That is, like... That
I'm
is
full of
both
glitches
a
that
compliment
people
and
think
an
are
insult. I love it.
Yeah, Ree, what do you got?
Alright, I'm going with Melee as well. I'm very confident about
Yeah,
that.
I think...
But also...
Yeah.
also going to show some love to Final Fantasy VIII. I've never actually played it, but I do know, I have seen quite a few of the cutscenes from it, and I just think it's so impressive that they managed to do that on the first PlayStation.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
Like the jump from 7 to 8 is phenomenal. So yeah, do you want to show that some love?
Cool. My vote, I am going to throw in for myself, but I am obviously going to also vote for Melee. So another 8. We got an ace here. Melee wins, obviously, with 4 votes. That was a good pick. If I had remembered it, I probably would have brought it myself. Okay, Super Smash Bros. Melee, welcome to the Hall of Fameluster, the most prestigious, non-existent Hall of Fame that exists and
It'll
doesn't.
exist one day when we've sorted out the social distancing.
Once we get the permits through, like, it's fine. I've also run into a problem with the fire code because I'm the space that we have is not going to be enough for all of the characters for Smash Bros to fit in and meet fire code regulations.
Plus, there is that wall that's constantly on fire.
Yeah, the wall. It's funny. The wall that's on fire is like the funniest part because it's the only wall that's there.
Nobody
I'm just trying
installed
to think
it. It just showed up on fire.
I'm just trying to think about the other entries because this is a very messy Hall of Fameluster right now because I know that the Master made it in from like my first episode I did. And then I also know like the entire country of Scotland made it in because when we were talking about Assassin's Creed Braveheart. So
you're right. I think the nation of Scotland did make it in.
We need to sort out some planning permission here if we're also going to add the cast of Melee.
I'm becoming increasingly prepared to, like, eventually one day, maybe for an anniversary, like, build what we have described as the Hall of Fameluster in dreams, and, like, we can take a tour through it. Like, it's just one wall that's on fire, a bunch of discarded saw blades. Like, alright, we gotta move on, though. Welcome, everybody, to Bustums. Everyone, please get out your commemorative hammer that you should have received in the mail.
And it's mine's delayed.
You know what? I'm actually just not going to hold that against you. Okay, so we are going to be jumping into Life is Strange today, which is one of my personal favorites of all time. I've been excited to talk about this because Tell Me Why is coming out in a week, and that's exciting, which, if anyone doesn't know, is the kind of a spiritual sequel to this. It's not Life is Strange 3, but it's basically the kind of the same vein from Don't Nod, and it's going to be on Game Pass day 1, so go get it. We're going to talk a little bit about Don't Nod. So this was, I believe, their first full release game, which is kind of insane. I think they did Remember Me before this, I think. Yes.
Yeah, they did do Remember Me.
They did Remember Me, which was like sort of a very, I'll say it's a niche game. Wasn't super well received, but they kept at it, and on their second try they super hit it out of the park. So I'm guessing anyone listening has heard of Life is Strange at the very least. It's like a...
I haven't. What is it about?
Okay. What's this persona called? The one who doesn't know about video games?
Not Noe Man. I don't know.
That's a bad name.
He's a very bad character.
So yeah, Life is Strange is like a narrative-driven game. If you're familiar with the Telltale games, it is similar to that, although I wouldn't call it exactly like that. Basically, the idea is that you do have some more gameplay than like a Telltale game, for sure. You're going through and making decisions, and while making decisions, you also are a confused teen. Just like... The best way that I try to sell Life is Strange to people is like, remember what you were doing your freshman year of college? That's this. And it's like, oh no.
Only you can go back and make changes.
Yeah, this time you can control what you're doing with some modicum of reason.
You can't not make a stupid decision, but you can choose which stupid decision you make.
Yeah, so like I said...
It's the best way to sum it up, really, yeah.
Yeah, so the thing that I admire about this, so I'll just run through, I guess, what the game starts with. Like, so you're playing as Max, who is this, looks like you're actually, I think, a senior at, like, an art school, basically. A high school senior at, like, an art school, like, away from home. And so you're in the Pacific Northwest, and you're just kind of going along, doing your shit, and, like... like, oh, I'm an edgy teenager, you know, but then you get to class, and what that? Oh no, superpowers, huh? you suddenly realize you have the power to rewind time by about 30 seconds. And not more than that. So that is, first of all, extremely intriguing to me, the idea of being able to rewind time, like, just about 30 seconds and, like, no more. So Max discovers this power, and not too much later, she sees a girl murdered in the bathroom during a drug deal gone wrong, and reverses time to save her, and that sort of puts her into the whole the shit, because there's some stuff going on with that. Basically what it does is it follows you as Max, like, trying to navigate these both, like, social and, like, you know, like, detective kind of situations almost. But the cool thing is that whenever you make a decision, you can also rewind time and make a different decision. The problem with that is that every single decision you make has immediately negative repercussions, and you will never ever be able to tell if you made the quote-unquote right decision. It really, like, puts a crazy new spin on the idea of, like, making decisions and splitting timelines in games, because, like, you can 100% control what happens, but, like, you never ever feel like you made the right decision.
Oh my god, absolutely.
So, yeah, like, if anyone's curious, also, there is a sequel called Life is Strange 2, which just takes place in the same universe and is completely unrelated to the first game, and there's also a prequel called Before the Storm, which is a shorter game where you play as Chloe and Rachel, a girl who's, like, gone missing in the first game, who is her lover. So the let's get into it, I think. So I think somebody who's really one of you, if I'm gonna put on my hat. I'm a true gamer now. I put on my gamer hat. This is a visual novel. Why should I play this?
Well, one, visual novels are actually pretty fun, so shut up. And I say that with more kills in an FPS than you, young man.
You know what? I'm gonna jump in and be the White Knight for Life is Strange.
Are you gonna simp for Life is Strange?
I will simp, and I will especially simp for Max, because honestly, I bloody love her as a protagonist, and that would be my first point to convince any gamer bros that feel like they're above this game. And you know what? I was one of these game bros that was against this game. Just want to put that out there. Initially, when I did my first playthrough, didn't actually like it. Then I sat on it for a bit. Then I played it again. Now I love it.
Did the disc break when you sat on it?
I had it digitally. It's fine.
Okay. So
the PS4, my PS4 can support my weight, so
okay,
that's fine.
Yeah. You know what? The thing is, though, like, I don't recall seeing Life is Strange on the list of approved games for women.
Oh my god.
Oh god, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Whoever just said that, shut the fuck up.
Did you see that list? The whole thing about it, Katie?
Wait, what?
Oh no, this was a real article somebody wrote, and then, like, E3 published, was like 25 games just for girls, and it was like,
women can play these.
It's like, women can play video games too. Check these out. It's like Solitaire, Sudoku.
Oh man,
the Kim Kardashian dress up.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian was in there. Bejeweled was in there, and it said, "Diamonds are a girl's best friend." Am I right, ladies? Bejeweled.
That guy probably thought that he was gonna get some.
No, it was a woman. It was a woman, actually.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's even worse.
I still don't know what criteria. It had to have been, like, install base, because almost all of those.
Oh, there wasn't any criteria, actually. It came out that
no?
she like tweeted out, like, asking if people, like, could give her any info, and nobody responded, and so she made up everything.
Oh god.
So that explains everything.
And yeah, this wouldn't have been a big deal, but the E3 official account, like, posted it, and then, E3 has been canceled twice this year.
Wow.
Anyway, sorry.
Really awful.
I totally derailed us. Go back.
No, it was a struggle for my dainty little women hands to hold down the back trigger to do the rewind thing. But once I moved past that, I had a guy help me with that. It was fine. It's
Just
like
imagine if you had to have played with the original Xbox controller. It would have crushed you under its weight.
It would have done. So, what I would say, going back to the visual novel thing, I don't think it is, because the whole point is that you're becoming Max, who is a very anxious and socially awkward teenage girl. I think I'm right in saying she's 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because of that, like her whole powers, to me anyway, reflect that sort of anxiety, the self-doubt of thinking, have I just made the right decision? As you said, in most instances, both decisions are bad ones. You are working with what you've got. And I think it's that level of interaction really separates it from visual novels. Not that there's anything wrong with visual novels, but just you can also, you don't have to spend time with characters that you don't like. If you don't like Chloe, for one, why? But also, you can more or less just spend more time with Warren or Kate or something. If you find Warren annoying,
let me hang out with Warren. Are you kidding?
Okay, I will defend Warren. I will defend Warren. But I will defend Chloe more. So yeah sorry, Warren. But yeah, and I think that's the point of it is that you sort of become Max, and you don't have like a great deal of say in what happens, but you can sort of, if you don't like a character, you can not get so invested with them, and like Chloe and Max can sort of just be these crime fighting buddies, or they can be straight up girlfriends, and I think it's that level of like,
they can be gal pals, yeah.
They can, yeah, gal pals with benefits. So so I think it's the fact that it can sort of reflect what the player wants. Like, for some reason, my brother hated Chloe and barely spent any time and barely did anything nice to her.
Aww.
But like loved Kate, so got really invested in her story. I think it's absolutely worth it, because you really just feel like you feel like the same self-doubt as Max, and that's why I'd really recommend it.
The intriguing part of this is that girls have gone missing recently around this place, like around this school, and recently one of the girls from the school, Rachel, like, has gone missing. These are all like teenage girls that have just disappeared over the last like few months, and so that's sort of the finding out what happened to Rachel and then the other women is like kind of the impetus for like you and Chloe becoming these like e-girl detectives, basically. Which is very exciting.
I loved the fact that like everything in the first Life is Strange is like very female centric, like all not just like the main protagonist, but kind of the main people that are really like essential to the storyline are girls and women, and I did like the fact that you could kind of choose between whether to like you were saying, interact with some characters or not, because I personally, I thought that Warren was a typical nice guy, but he just really aggravated the crap out of me, and I was like pushing for Chloe and Max to have some kind of something, and so I kind of like the fact that you could definitely pick and choose between between what you decide to do.
Okay, Warren does come off as a big ol' simp at first, but he is actually a genuinely good guy.
With a heart of gold.
Right, yeah. But also with I had actually...
We call those gimps?
Oh god, that's a different thing entirely. But yeah, with the whole visual novel thing, I had actually never heard that term before this podcast. But I think like going around, for me, maybe it's just because I'm like super OCD, but like going around and collecting like all the items and reading everything, it gives you a lot of really, to me, like important supplemental information that you have to actually like go out and use like the gameplay and wandering around in order to find them, so it's not just, you can choose to take a really active role in actually like exploring the environment, with your controller. So, you don't just sit by and click buttons to make the decisions,
Yeah. It's not just sitting there and being like, do you want to go this way or this way? Like, you're actually walking around like exploring. Yeah, it's not Bandersnatch, which is was fine, but it's definitely an actual video game. You walk around, you explore, you interact with things. There's some like light puzzling here and there, but like it's it genuinely like feels like you're just like walking around and trying to like solve a mystery and also just get by like the wiles that come with being an angsty teen. Like, so I do want to just make sure that all of us are gonna stand for Chloe here today.
I'm gonna
absolutely.
stand for. I will cautiously stand for Chloe.
We cautiously stand. Yeah. Anyway, what in talking about the story here, if possible, I want to keep our spoilers to just episode 1. So if anyone's listening and gets interested, they don't get like spoiled on the whole thing. But yeah, like, I want to kind of talk about like the fact that no two people have really had the same like experience on this game. Like, there are really, really crazily branching storylines, and even like your smallest decisions can like affect something in the future. Like, I know that Telltale is sort of famous for advertising like, oh, you know, Clementine will remember this, and then it just usually never comes into play. But
Clementine will never act on this.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but like Life is Strange does an amazing job of making sure every one of your decisions does change your playthrough in some way. Like, if for instance, there is a character who I won't name, who in my playthrough died in episode 2, and everyone else is like, man, she had this really emotional speech at the end of the game, and I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, like, are there some interesting like paths or something you've discovered like by doing this more than once, for any of you?
I can't think of any. Most of my memories of Life is Strange are a bit of a blur. In fact, I had a problem where, because I played with a friend the original and Before the Storm, like, right together, that some of Before the Storm bled into what I was thinking was actually the original Life is Strange. Like the play scene, which is, you know, Before the Storm.
Uh-huh.
So I can't remember what in our playthroughs was very unique. Like, I can remember some major points, letting the guy get shot over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
You know, just being little shits.
Now, what did everybody do about the plant? Because, like, mine did not make it.
Oh no, mine made it. I'm very proud. That's like probably one of the few things that did go right on that playthrough. So yeah.
That's one of the hardest things to do is remembering to water the plant in your room, and like, I just did not. So yeah, like, what are like some of like the themes, I guess, of this that stuck out to you? Like, I'm for me, like,
no
person.
Go ahead. My cat was climbing on my desk.
Okay.
I just wanted to warn you because there was going to be a loud noise as I got her off.
My favorite thing about this is this theme of like reaching, like, okay, I'm a big old sucker, and it is my favorite theme for like a story about where people have to like reach across time and space like to find each other. Like these like fucking like Steins Gate and like Your Name and stuff like fucking tear me apart, and I love it. But like that was what kind of like stuck out to me, was like fighting the very nature of time and space to like to reach the people you love, like is sort of this like thing that I really enjoy. But I don't know, like what about like the story, I guess, stuck with you guys, or any sort of like themes or allegories or stuff like that either? I
think for me, the thing that stuck with me the most, and I'm gonna simp over Max again, so I'm basically Warren, but I think it's, and I alluded to this earlier, it's sort of the social awkwardness of being 17, because I feel like Max is a unique protagonist in that we get to see social awkwardness and nerdiness from a female perspective. I mean, as you were saying earlier, this is a very female game, and it's refreshing because, like, at the time, I think I was the same age as Max when I played it, so I could relate heavily to feeling sort of shut in the room quite a lot, whereas like everyone around me was like, you know, having the normal high school experience. And I think, you know, her whole power, I think, is just meant to be an allegory for like anxiety and indecision, and sort of second guessing yourself. And I think that's my favorite. I really like to explore that from a female perspective, sort of feeling like, yeah, that you know, you're meant to be having, because I mean, a lot of the women around Max are a lot more confident, and she isn't. And I think that's the thing that, I mean, I wrote about her recently when I was writing about female protagonists. That has really stuck with me. And I think it's proof that, you know, a strong female character doesn't have to be strong, if that makes sense. She just has to be interesting. And I think Max really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so one other thing is I just want to like make sure that Bay or Bay? What did everyone do? Bay?
I first I did BAE. Like I was 100% on that.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, when I've played it through a bunch of times, but you know, I've chosen the other Bay as well. But I think that for me, you're talking about themes. That was one of the themes that I thought was really interesting and kind of you know, stuck with me the most is kind of a lot of the decisions that you make and a lot of the aspects of the game are kind of like individualistic versus collectivistic, like what's more important. And I think in my first playthrough, everything that I chose was very individualistic, and that can have, you know, some pretty bad consequences. And I think that kind of like gave me a self-check, like, you know, make sure you're not being so self-absorbed in your own stuff and trying to do what's best for you, that you ultimately end up, you know, kind of sabotaging yourself by not taking other people into consideration, you know, which is easy to do sometimes, you know, if you're not really cognizant of that. So
yeah, I absolutely struggled with that last decision, like for a while. Like I remember I just like paused the game and like sat there for like 15 minutes. And I ended up going BAE for that one, mm-hmm. But I was like very torn about it, and I feel like if I were to do a second like full playthrough, I played through like most of the game again. I haven't finished it again, but if I were to do a second full playthrough, like I would probably choose the other one. Now that I've had time to like reflect on it, but mm-hmm. It's like it's really one of those things. Like it's like really makes you think, you know.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, and I've seen some people complain about the Bay or Bay choice, thinking like, oh, it doesn't really take into account, without like spoiling too much, doesn't take into account like a lot of your decisions that you made. It feels like for nothing if you just get the same two choices as everyone else. And I felt like that at first when I completed the game. I was like, why did I spend all this time getting invested in these characters, blah blah blah. But then upon revisiting it, I kind of realized the point. This is gonna sound so cheesy, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It isn't about the destination, it's about the journey, you know. It's about
that's why we couldn't take the Eagles to get there.
Yeah.
Also, they were shut down.
It isn't about the fact. I mean, I went BAE first as well, but then I thought about it for a day, and I went back and I did BAY, and I consider that my canon one. But I find it interesting that, I mean, I'm not sure what you picked, Tim, but I find it interesting that so far our initial like knee-jerk reaction was BAE. I found it quite, because I would have thought we were like 50-50 split on that, but yeah, so far it's everyone's saving Chloe. That is interesting.
I played it a little. I knew that, but when I played it with a friend, we knew that a lot of people had gone, and we were curious what the other one was. So we, for both,
you compromised your playthrough.
No, it was impossible not to know about that choice because people were talking about it. So we got spoiled. But no, we decided to save the Bay because it was one person that we liked versus several people that we liked at the very minimum. So
how dare you think about it logically?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anyone have any like sort of like personal like specific moments you can remember where like something really hit you hard or something like that?
How spoilery can we get?
Let's just call this the spoiler section. Skip to the okay, if you want to skip some spoilers, just skip to the next section. We'll go full spoiler on this. What you got?
Well, mine was, I remember, because I didn't know about this. When did this game come out?
It's 2015.
Okay, so I didn't play, so I had just graduated high school when this came out, but I didn't play it until, like, 2 years ago because my friend Jake, who's like a big video game guy, told me that he thought that I would like it. So I was playing it with him, and he had already played it before, but I had no idea that there was like the option for Chloe and Max to be anything but just friends until that one part where you have like the option to either like kiss her or not, and I just like freaked out because I thought that was so cool, because that like I never saw anything like that as a kid on anything really, except for the L Word, which I would like sneak and watch when I was like a young teenager. But I had never kind of seen any, and I guess this shows how little I have video games, but I had never really seen any like queer representation in
No,
video games.
don't worry. There's not a lot.
So that I thought that was really really cool and kind of resonated with me, especially because it's again kind of like a female centered game, and so I just kind of saw it as like a big win for women, but also queer women. So that was definitely surprising in a good way to me.
Yeah, that's nice. Does anyone else have anything?
I'm not gonna. Even though this is spoiler zone, I'm not going to actually spoil. But the revelation of who was behind the disappearances.
Oh God, yeah.
It wasn't oh, this is so sad. It was a you bastard.
Yeah.
You fucking bastard.
I was actually, I don't know why, I was genuinely surprised, but like, who else the fuck could it have been, huh? Like,
I got bad vibes from the very beginning.
In hindsight, it could be so obvious, but it wasn't.
Your alarm was going off with them?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't. Did we say that there are spoilers in this section?
Yeah, this part is spoilers, yeah.
Like, young teachers who think they're cool really do not give me good vibes at all. I always think that they're like the kind of people that are trying to like either hold on to the popularity that they had in high school or get the popularity that they never had, and they're like the kind of people who like end up sleeping with students and getting fired.
Yeah.
But and they're just so full of themselves that it's like nauseating. So I did not get a
that's fair.
vibe.
Also, if there's ever a live action adaptation of this, I absolutely need Mr. Jefferson to be played by Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco. I don't know.
My God.
Oh my God, he would be perfect.
Yeah.
But I love him though. So I don't know if I could see him in a bad light.
Oh. Yeah, I think that ending was like really exciting to me. I this game is about 15 hours long, by the way. I think I went through the whole thing in one weekend. My friend and I like both got it at the same time. And we weren't playing it together, but we were like both playing it that same weekend and like talking to each other about it, like, oh, did you get to this part? And like, no, that person's dead. What are you talking about? And like we got since I guess we're in spoiler zone, like in my playthrough, Kate killed herself in episode 2. I don't know what I did.
I'm so mad at you for that.
You handed her a loaded gun and told her to kill herself.
I definitely didn't, though.
No, the same thing happened to me though, Nirav, in my first playthrough, and that really, I think that's what kind of made me appreciate like the whole, like I was talking about, individual versus collectivistic aspect, because I was like, I was so like wrapped up in wanting to establish a good rapport with Chloe that I completely ignored this poor girl that obviously needed help, right? So that really upset me, and that was like the main reason that I played through it again.
Yeah,
then I played through it like 3 more times. So
that's fair. I feel like a lot of the characters like hit so hard because like, especially I think Kate was the one that stood out to me as like, I feel like I definitely knew this girl in high school, you know? Like these all feel like real people that I knew in high school, and it's crazy how they managed to capture that Chaka Bra.
That's because you are a fictional character and you went to that high school.
That's true. I went to teen high. I can't remember what the school's called.
Arcadia Bay, right?
The school is called like Blackwell, right? Blackwell Academy?
Oh, wait, something
like that, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I remember that. All right, so again, I want to toss out like that Tell Me Why, which is like another like Life is Strange, very similar game from the same developer coming out in like a week, and I think that one's going to be really cool because it has the plot of it is that you're these two. It's again a slight superpower thing. Like you're these two adults, like in your late 20s, twins. One of them is a woman, and the other is a transgender man. And basically, like your mother was murdered back when you were like very little, back in Alaska. You guys are like Inuit, people from Alaska, and not Inuit. Sorry, it's a different tribe of natives there, but you like go back to the scene of the crime basically, and you find out that you have this power that when the two of you both feel an intense emotion at the same time, like you can see into the past of like, and so it's basically you guys trying to find all these places that will make like basically tear your heart out in order to solve the mystery of your mother's murder.
And the strangeness that led up to it.
Yeah, exactly. And it uses a lot of supernatural stuff from, I think it's called Tlajit. It's like the tribal mythology over there. So I'm like very excited. I think I'm glad they're getting back to that kind of thing. Anyway, as far as like Life is Strange, I think everyone here recommends playing it, right? That's probably doesn't need to be asked.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone, there are some people who wouldn't like it, but the first episode is free. So give that
That's
a
true.
look, and if you like that, go for the rest.
It's on phones too. Like you can get it on your phone if you have to. Like it's
play the first episode. You're out nothing. If you like it, keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. So does this game need more or less ghosts?
Lots more.
Yeah,
I think
disappointing lack of ghosts.
I don't think there were any ghosts in this one, so I'm gonna say more.
Yeah, I was wondering what that question was for. I was like,
so that's because we're GameBusters, and so we have sort of a ghost theme. So the end of every week we ask like, okay, does this game need more or less ghosts? Which changes depending on the game. Like, like Luigi's Mansion, maybe there's too many ghosts. I don't know.
No, there needs to be more. I love that game as a kid, by the way.
Ghosts in Ghostbusters, the video game. Come on.
That's true. Okay. Thank you guys. We're gonna jump into our next segment. Time for games. Today I have developed another guessing game, which I think is fun. So basically, each of these things is a quest from Fallout 3 or a Doctor Who episode, which which are apparently have surprisingly similar naming schemes. And so I will just toss one out, and you guys need to tell me what it is. The order of this has been randomized by the computer, so there's no pattern to it. All right.
Let everybody else guess first.
Okay. Tim, are you like super familiar with Fallout 3?
And Doctor
Who? Okay. Maybe this is a bad game. We'll let the others guess first then.
Yeah, I've not only I think 100% in Fallout 3, I've 100%
Doctor Who. Okay, so let's so the first one is The Waters of Life.
I'll say Doctor Who.
I'm going with Fallout 3.
Fallout 3.
Yeah, that is a Fallout quest. There is another one called like The Waters of some Waters of
Mars.
That's the Doctor Who one. So it's very close. Okay.
I remember.
Well, I don't know either of these things at all, so we're going in blind.
All right. How about this one? The End of the World.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, that is Doctor Who.
Revival second episode.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, you were not joking.
This is a bad idea.
I feel like a failure of a Brit right now. I've probably watched a collective 5 Doctor Who episodes.
Oh, come on. Okay, you just have to watch the David Tennant and Matt Smith, and you can stop. Okay. Okay. How about this one? Among the Stars.
Doctor Who.
No, that one's actually Fallout. I got one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, how about this one? Almost People.
Fallout.
Doctor Who.
That is Doctor Who.
I've gotten every single one.
Hey, that makes me feel good. Okay.
The game works.
This one is, I think, probably the craziest one. Kerblam! Exclamation point.
That is Fallout 3, isn't it?
No, That's Doctor Who. That's a Doctor Who episode called Kerblam.
Oh, I'm thinking of there is like one quest that has the exclamation mark at the end. I know that. I'm not a
but it's
Fallout
something
fan.
very similar, like kablam or something.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this one? The Replicated Man.
Fallout.
That one is
Doctor Who?
Fallout.
No, that one's actually Fallout, yeah. Good job.
Oh my
I was
god, I got
actually
one right.
Yeah.
thinking about that one recently, because
Sometimes I just sit and think about Fallout 3 quests.
No,
The thing is, like,
go ahead.
I'd say like the only thing I can remember from Doctor Who is that all the villains look really shit. So the replicated man.
Hey,
I can just imagine they have a mirror up to like one of the actors and they're like, there we go. That's
they
the villain.
they look better now. Come on.
I'm not convinced.
Okay, and then here's the last one, Into the Pit.
Oh, that's Fallout.
Okay, I'll go with Fallout.
Yeah, it is Fallout because it is from the Pit DLC. So, but like Into the Pit also did sound like there's another one called like Into the Satan Pit, which is a Doctor Who episode. Yeah.
Oh my god! Wow. Like a metal band.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. That is a perfect one because the Satan Pit is the episode, and it is literally just the Doctor going into a pit for an episode.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. That was pretty good. Not too bad. So let's close out with let's everyone head to the wishing well, please. Pull out the commemorative Life is Strange coin that you all should have gotten. Everyone have it in your hand?
Indeed.
We got it.
Yeah, it's the one that has a little Chloe on one side and then Warren's on the other side.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is everyone go around and wish for a very slight superpower that could maybe help you with daily life but could not be used for crime fighting.
Okay.
Oh no, you go ahead, Ree.
Okay. My one, very specific. The power to get people to return my fucking emails because there is nothing on this earth that like frustrates me more. I am both a receptionist and a journalist, so collectively, my job description is just getting left on red, basically. So that would be my superpower.
Okay, not bad. Katie, what do you have?
My superpower would be to be able to read Desmond, my dog / son, be able to read his mind, because there are sometimes that he just stares at me and looks at me and I don't know what he's thinking in his little pea brain. And I want to be able to make his life as like ideal and happy as possible. And so I would like to be able to know what he's thinking so that I can cater to his every need at all the time.
That's probably the most on-brand thing you've ever said.
I literally am obsessed with my dog.
Yeah, everyone check out his Instagram. What's that account?
Huh? Oh, it's just my Instagram, but it is just pictures of him. It's Katie John Daughter. It's also on TikTok. There was a video of him that got like millions of likes of me talking to him because he's so precious and small and fluffy.
Yeah, I do like how
if you had
fluffy
that,
he is.
If you had that power, you could like tell him how famous he is.
Oh, the fame would go to his head, though.
Yeah, I think it'd go straight to his fluff, and he'd get even fluffier. And I can't handle that. That's already enough.
Oh, all right, Tim, what do you got?
This might be slightly cheating because there is a superhero with a similar power, though I don't know really why he thinks he can be a superhero with this power, but it would be the ability to like make copies of myself and then sync up with them later in the day so that we both know what we've both been doing.
Oh, so you want to like have somebody who can like go get like, you know, groceries while you like go to the whatever. I don't know why I was gonna say the post office, but we don't have those anymore. So
those are from the before times.
Those are from the before times, but yeah, okay, so I see. So you just do multiple tasks at the same time, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that could be good. I think that in order to make sure we can't use it for crime fighting, you have to like be like half as strong when you split up into two people.
I mean, one of me will just have to work out a lot. No.
Okay.
I don't think I'm very good for crime fighting as is. So
that's fair. So two of me probably wouldn't help. Okay. My thing was like, I don't know why I've always wanted this. I've always wanted to be able to like look at something and know exactly how like tall or wide it is. Like just know exactly, like, the measurements of something I'm looking at. I think that would be very slight and definitely not enough to fight crime.
I was about to say,
I think that iPhone
not
does
only,
that now.
Not only
What?
is
No.
that not useful for crime fighting, is that just not useful anywhere? That's the ultimate one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it'd be neat, but it's like not very. It's like not great, but it's neat. Like the
You'd
actually
win a lot of bar bets.
Yeah, I think so. I think that also, like, I've sort of took this idea because Shigeru Miyamoto, the Mario Man himself, like, has this, like, well documented thing where he has a tape measure with him all the time, and he will just measure stuff, and, like, he's trained his mind to know exactly how long things are every time he looks at them.
That's like a huge flex, actually. That's like super
Yeah,
badass.
okay, if anyone's curious about Shigeru Miyamoto flexing, he also walks around Nintendo headquarters without shoes. He refuses to wear shoes at work. And, like, when you invent Mario, like, you can do whatever the fuck you want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you're not gonna go up to the man who invented your childhood and be like, can you put some shoes on, please? You're just not gonna do it.
Anyway, I guess what I'm saying is I want to be the Mario Man. Okay.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing you have to do is swing your arms from side to side.
Oh my god, I walked into that. Oh. Okay. Everyone, so thank you guys for joining us. This has been GameBusters, a podcast from GameLuster.com. That is my cat Ellie screaming in the distance. I don't know if you can hear her.
Ellie.
So I want to give a quick shout out to Todd Howard for sponsoring this podcast. We got through the whole one without dunking on you, Todd. Please get that check to us.
Dunk on him more for him to send the money.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Let's Skyrim for my Fitbit coming out, Todd.
come on, Todd. So if everyone, does anyone have any plugs they want to throw out? Katie, is there anything you're working on? I guess just Desmond. Do you want to plug Desmond?
Oh, God. Yeah, I'll plug Desmond. Great.
Not for too long, though.
Yeah.
It could lead to backups.
Yeah, what else have we got coming out? Tim, I think you got the console tours coming out, right?
We did. Yep, console tour should be coming out Monday. So I think the same day as this is coming out.
Yes.
Okay. Look at console tours. My wife Kate and I are looking over Sinnoh and comparing it to the real world nostalgia for Kate's time in Japan.
Yeah, they're
Of Hokkaido.
kind of like finding the real places in Sinnoh, like in Pokemon, that are like from real
Yes.
places in the real world.
Our first episode was all about Jubilife and how it's secretly Sapporo.
Yeah. All right, Ree, what you got?
Right, well, I haven't got a project going on at the moment. I'm just plodding along, vibing, really. But, follow me on
Are
Twitter.
you plugging your own vibes?
I am. If you want some good vibes, I'd say fairly average vibes, follow me on Twitter at @re_Bevan.
They're good. I mean, they're not great. There's it's like a 7 out of 10, I would say, your Twitter.
I'll take that. You know what? That's better than I thought I was going to get.
Okay. Nice. I think that I just my video where I drink BioShock Vigors, which is actually just vodka shots. The thing about that video is that, like, when I thought of that idea, I thought it'd be very funny, and then I sat down and, like, halfway through recording it, I realized I was going to be taking 6 shots of vodka in the space of 20 minutes.
I'd be on the floor, dude.
And, like, well, yeah, you can see what happens to me in the video as I sort of the dawning realization that I'm just, like, completely lost. So you can check that out on YouTube.
Yeah, seeing your messages in the Discord afterwards, I felt like secondhand drunk.
The thing is, it's the true BioShock experience, because Vigors are literally just alcohol and a teensy bit of mutagen.
Oh, yeah. It's just to help, like, a little bit of a spoonful of alcohol makes the mutagen go down.
Yeah, they just decided to replace spoonful with bucket.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, Katie, for joining us on this one.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. And
so-
Desmond, he's been here the whole time.
Oh my God. Okay. So if everyone wants to gather round, Ree, you did win the Hall of Fameluster competition, so you get to take us out with your signature catchphrase today.
Oh, God. Simp Max, basically, and also Warren isn't that bad. Like, everyone needs to stop picking on Warren.
Sorry, no, even the fucking Warren stands out there are like, he's not that bad.
That's all we've got. That's all we've got.
Anyway, I guess what I'm saying is I want to be the Mario Man.